Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to take a look at the G.I. Joe Classified, part of the Dragonfly Haslab Night Force Ripcord. And yes, that is a mouthful, and that's all that I'm going to say on that. But here we have Night Force Ripcord. If you do remember, with the Sky Striker Haslab, we got an O-ring Night Force Ripcord. This is the first time he'd never been done before, so they went with this. I think it's actually pretty cool. Ripcord was one of my favorite figures growing up. Matter of fact, I remember taking him to play somewhere. I lived in condo, so I was playing at one of those cement cheeses, and I dropped him. When I got home, it was a couple courts over. I was like, oh my god. And here's a camouflage figure. I thought I'd never find them. I literally traced my path right back, and I actually found the one camouflage guy. So anyway, we're going to take a look at this guy, who is not camouflage, but he is dark. Well, dark. He has dark colors along with green. I've done way too much stuff here. Anyway, we're going to take a look at him, see how he looks. There we go. We have all the weapons, and I believe all of this is reuse. Weapon-wise, figure is going to be new, and obviously it means we're going to be getting a ripcord soon. On the side here, we have part of the Dragonfly display that you're going to see, so when you line them up, that's how they're going to look. There we have his back look, and he kind of looks like Conan, the talk show host there, just a little bit. And here we go. We have his attributes of what he is. We have 143, and of course we have the Night Force symbol. But anyway, we're going to get into this figure. But something I'm going to do that I normally don't is I'm going to open this up, and then I'm going to put him in some hot water and loosen him up. We've seen some issues. I've seen one where his leg was broken. We've seen a bunch of crazy legs that their legs were actually broken. So before I do anything like that, I normally don't do that, but normally those are just regular figures that I can go pick up another one if need be. I don't want to have to send this thing back. So anyway, I'm going to do that. So when I come back, the figure's already going to be loosened up and moved around, just so I know that there isn't a problem. So anyway, but before we do, if you like this type of content, you like G.I. Joe, take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a video such as this. Alright, so I got them out here, and as you can see, I also have Wild Bill. I also have our Halo Jumper right here, along with his pack, so we can kind of compare the two, see how much they're alike. And I did quickly look at the figure, obviously, as I heated him up and I moved him around. I didn't have any problems. And I will show you where the problem is just in case if someone is wondering. So quickly, we're going to go over his accessories first like I normally do. First off, we have this awful, I can only say it so many times, pistol. Now, there's no reason to give him this. They have other pistol molds. Once it's pointed out that you can't put a magazine in it, it just doesn't work. It works with like the early G.I. Joes that they were doing, but it is completely different. But anyway, if you don't know this weapon, you probably don't have any older figures. Go out, pick one up, and you'll instantly want to throw this away. It's going to sit in his holster. I'm not going to use it. Here is what originally came with the Viper 3-pack. It's been given to us numerous times. I actually think this is a pretty good weapon. Got a nice suppressor on it right there. It is straight. These are stiffer again. Some of these are really soft. Other ones aren't. I can't tell how they decided that it's going to be. Nice scope. Got the nice little stock there. This is how it should be. Suppressor does come off. Now, this one looks like it's better than the one that came with this guy. As you can see, I don't have his weapon on him. I changed it out. Removable magazine, which is interchangeable with all 3 style weapons like this. But I do like the green. Again, it just sets off with his color scheme. And then we have this one. All right, submachine gun. Looks like it has a rail system, but there's nothing that can really go up on there. Grip in the front. Here's your grip. Removable magazine. That is interchangeable. So after a while, you're going to have a bunch of these magazines if you're not using them. Port for blast effects. Again, nice little one. I don't really like this one. It's probably my least favorite of the 3, although this one only came with 2. We have some goggles for him. And I really like the blue, but I don't know, the paint doesn't look all that good. I mean, it looks like it's already broken up. Like we've had it for quite some time. Maybe because I don't know. I mean, I like the color. I guess from a distance you're not going to notice. But it is nice and pliable, so you're going to be able to move it around. No problems there. All right, and then we have his mask. All right, so this kind of moves up and down. I'm wondering if it is the same as this one. I'm going to say it is, or at least pretty close. So this is your halo jumper. This is rip cords. All right, so it looks like it is the same along with this right here. All right, and I kind of noticed a couple things. So anyway, we have the camera up top here. I like the paint. It just kind of offsets it, gives exactly what you want. The highlight around it, this does move up and down. And I really didn't have any issues with this thing like popping off, at least not with this guy over here. All right, helmet's going to open up. It's just kind of pliable. And it's stiffer than this one. Way stiffer. All right, and then we get not the magazine. We get the mask. This thing is going to clip in. Now, once it's on his face, it's going to be a little bit different because this is going to open up like that. But the mask looks good. It's going to go all the way down. And the thing that I noticed, it goes right in here, which is the same piece that this is glued onto that plugs into it. Now, I don't know why they did it like that. I don't know why they didn't make this thing just plug into that, because there's a lot of weird similarities. Now we're going to look at this backpack. Now, I did watch Bobby B's review, and he mentioned how it does not have a parachute. But the first thing that I had noticed is that this is very rigid plastic. All right. Well, this is nice and pliable. I'm going to be able to pop it onto them, right? I got to move the straps around. This is the halo jumper. This feels better. Here's this one. You can kind of hear it. They make two different sounds. So I open this up, which I normally don't do. So it's the same, but as I pull it up, you can see the stress marks. And then I noticed on the outside, it actually already started ripping. So this here just opens up. They didn't give you a parachute. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to be mad about that. No big deal. No parachute. But this plastic is way harder and more rigid. So I'm not a huge fan of it. Now, obviously, you can put stuff in the back if you wanted to. But I don't really know how much stuff there is to put back for him. All right. But we'll take a look at this here. Texture is nice. It's got a couple little buttons here that's going to keep it down. The black looks good. All different texture right around here. It looks like you can see the stitching. I will say that the color scheme is nicer than what's on the Halo jumper because it makes things pop. And I even think that the black and the green shows off the texture a little bit more. But I do not like the type of plastic. It is like a hard plastic that for straps in here, it should be this. I don't see what was wrong with this. This just feels better. So let me know in the comments if you felt the same way, if you got this. All right. Now looking at this, it has a couple little hooks, obviously, for the parachuting. It does have a little bit of paint app on the clasp. So once it closes. All right. Now I think we can get to the figure. And we'll take a look at him. And right away, I'll tell you, he has the same buck as Wild Bill. All right. So his forearms are going to be different. So his forearms are different. He has the same biceps, same legs. Boots are different. Even his chest is the same. Wild Bill is just rocking no undershirt, and he has an undershirt, and they kind of paint up the neck so it looks like it just kind of rides up there. I'm perfectly fine with it considering it is a flight suit. So quickly, like I said, I already warmed him up. I'll show you the articulation. He does look up that much, down. The neck peg does kind of move back and forth. T-post. Now, if you hear that, there is a real nice ratcheting system, which I don't remember any other Joes having. All right, bicep swivel, double pinless elbows. Okay, movable wrists, same here. Here it does have the butterfly joints right here. How far do they cross over? Can you hold the pistol? I'm going to say no. Again, I just really wish that they would look at some other designs of other companies and figure out a way just to do a little bit more cut so we can put their hands together for swords, pistols, different things like that. Ab crunch, which you can hear the ratcheting in it. He can turn it side to side. His Jean-Claude Van Damme. This piece is obviously going to prevent it from going all the way over there. He has the drop down hips. Now be careful because the hip in here, that is what broke. All right. So that is actually what broke. You have to be careful. I've said before, I'm not a fan of drop down hips because it just leaves more things that can break. And if they're designed right, you don't have a problem. Drop down hips are made so they can go straight. Now, if they're designed properly, or designing, I don't want to say properly, designed in a specific way, you don't really have a problem. You can have them kicking straight up at, a 90 degree, right? Thigh swivel, pinless knees, and then your boot cut, again, is underneath, which is nice. Then you have your ankle rocker. But again, I did already loosen him up. I suggest you do the same thing. And only because we've seen so many issues, again, from what I understand, Hasbro is saying that you have to send these figures back and then they'll send out replacements. All right, so let's look at everything that he has on him. So there's something about this face. It almost looks like maybe the color of the plastic is his skin tone. And maybe that's why it looks off. I have heard people say that it kind of looks like they're 3D printed sculpts that they were doing for people. But the more I look at him, I think he's actually a nice figure. He's a white figure. His hair looks really good. They always seem to do some nice washes in it, so it looks a little either wet or just a little, so it's not just pure red. Eyebrows are painted on properly. Eyes are looking straight, which is always a plus. You got your lips, ears. You can see there's a little bit of water still in it. Here we have his jumpsuit. All right, so we do have this whole harness here, and you get your nice little hooks here. And the silver paint really makes it pop. Here you have, I believe this is your pull cord. If you were in the military, if you were a jumper, please let me know exactly, if I'm right or wrong on this, okay? Just a little bit of paint on the jumpsuit, and obviously you have the purple here, or not the purple. Oh, I got purple, the green on it. Belt looks good. I love the fact, and I'll say this, these little clasps, all this little stuff being painted silver on the green, it just makes it pop. All right. Here we have his Night Force logo, along with painted zippers. Just where his little pouches are. Trigger fingers. Over here we have the other Night Force, the actual Night Force logo. So that is I think that's I don't know what that is. Someone tell me what that is. The Griffin. It doesn't look like a Griffin. I don't know what the hell it looks like. It looks like a genie in a bottle. Now start singing that song. All right. Going all the way down to the flight suit, you always got these little pockets, and then you have your regular style boots. Pegs on the bottom if you use pegs, which you shouldn't. Unless they're on the Dragonfly. All right. So, I like the drop down holsters. So here is the holster for the pistol. So here we go, our pistol. Say goodbye to the pistol because we never want to see it again. Because it is an awful pistol, and I will probably just change it out with one of the 100 other pistols that I have. All right, so this piece here is for the oxygen mask. All right, but it doesn't seem to plug in. It just kind of sits on there with pressure, I believe. Now look at this one here. It looks like it is glued on, and this one pegs into this piece here, which this one has a hole right there. You can see where they kind of patched up the hole there, or where they made it so it gets punched out. Again, I don't know why they did it like that. So let's get the helmet on him. Well, first off, I hate this. Dude, I hate this helmet on this figure. And I'm talking about the O-ring one. The Haslab O-ring. So you can see he has that same reddish hair. They put the part to the other side. They didn't do all red in his eyes, which I'm perfectly fine with. Let's look at the O-ring one. Let's not lose that helmet. So there he goes. All right. I think they did a good job updating him. This guy looks really old, man. He looks like an actor, and I can't figure out who it is that I'm thinking of, but it's like right on the tip of my tongue. And the moment I think of it, I'm going to be like, dude, that looks just like so-and-so. Or I'll come back to it later. I'll show it on Monday Night Toy Ramblings. This helmet is awful in the mask. And I'm talking about the O-ring. So anyway, there we go. Let's throw the helmet on him. Oh, first off, we can do the goggles. So the goggles just fit right over him. No problem. I think it looks pretty good. I think you can have this on it with the helmet. I'm not gonna try it. I have a feeling there's already gonna be a few issues with how everything goes on this guy, and that's not even the right one. And I could tell by how stiff it was. No, shall I say how not stiff it wasn't. All right. So we get the helmet on. And then we just kind of pop this mask on. Now the stiffer helmet and mask may make this a little bit easier to plug in. And I think that looks awesome. Flips up, flips back down, up, down. I think the reason for this, if you want him to be the gunner, then you can have this on here. You can't really have the whole backpack system on there. But from what I can tell here, man, this thing just looks like it's going to... I'm not sure if you can push it in there. Well, I guess you can push it down. I guess I'm wrong. All right, so you can push that down. And then it kind of stays right in place. You can move the helmet. So that's not bad. All right, that works out. No problem there. All right, but now let's say you want to get this backpack on him. The problem is you have this piece right here. And so what I had noticed is that, I should take that mask off before you pull this thing off here, is that these things come undone from underneath there. All right. So if I am correct, I'm going to assume you just pull his arms up. And then we can pull this bad boy right off. Now, I feel like there's more stuff that I'm doing for this figure than I had to do for the Halo jumper. Maybe this thing doesn't come off. I mean, it sure seems like it should. Why would you unhook it there, right? I mean, is this supposed to go over all this? I guess that kind of makes sense. Maybe I'm completely wrong here, but I mean, I don't know why, other than to make this easier to pop in here. Of course, now it's hard to get on. But hey, you know what? That's the type of stuff we do here. We learn. And while we're learning, please take a second, hit that like button if you haven't, and hit that subscribe button. That type of stuff does help the channel grow. And if you've been with me for quite some time, you know that this channel has grown tremendously, and it's all because of you guys. So I think we might have to fight with this to get back in there later on completely. All right, so that just kind of hooks. I don't know. Just kind of hooks in there. You can get it off. It'd be a lot easier if you pop off one of the arms there. Now, I do worry that this thing is very stiff. I mean, extremely stiff. Wow. I don't... Tell me I'm not the only one the only one struggling with this. Maybe I'll just go heat this thing up too. Not that I really want to, considering... Man. So that's going to go on like that. I think we can probably get this here. Yep, snap that in there. All right, so that does go over. It looked like you were going to have to take this off considering one was already off. That's how I realized that it was off. Just kind of move that to where it needs to be. I'm going to throw this helmet on here. And thank you guys for bearing with me once again. If you're new to the channel, understand I like to show you exactly what you're getting and if you're going to have to struggle with it. There are other channels that do an amazing job already showing you how to post things and what it looks like. Go check them out too. But I want you to get a first-hand look of what you're getting here when you open them up. So, all right, push that thing down. Now what we're going to do is take a look at our Night Force ripcord here. And as you can see, they tried to recreate the mask. This looks way better than the O-ring one. You get down here to where the harness is, and it looks very similar. Big backpack. Now this is obviously supposed to be a parachute. I know I called it a backpack, but it is a parachute. All right. All in all, it looks pretty good. They did give him the green boots, but this was a recreation of this airborne. This ripcord, this one is all new. And I did forget, I believe this is the altimeter. Is that what it is? So it counts down exactly where you're at, so you know exactly what your altitude is. All right, so we got our little gun here. How well does he stand? Well, hopefully he stands fairly well. Now he's going to be back heavy for sure. Now I actually do like this weapon. I like this way more than I thought I was going to. I mean, I know this weapon. I like this weapon. But I thought it was, I didn't think it was going to fit him all that well. But actually, I think it looks pretty damn good. Because what I did do was I went and grabbed this gun from Top Fun Toys. And as you can see, this is a recreation of this weapon. And you're saying, well, where's the handle at? Well, the handle's right there. It's meant to flip up and down. You can look at the magazine there. That long barrel. The, I don't know why I can't think of it. The stock on it. So I grabbed this, and it's already in camouflage. I thought, hey, you know what? This would be a pretty badass rifle. I know I'm the one that says everything does not have to be retro, but sometimes you have the weapons, and you're like, hey, let's make them retro. And to be honest, that color scheme actually works pretty well with him. Although the stock is kind of long to get him in a sexy sniper pose. But we can also kind of play around and figure that out. So anyway, that is your Night Force ripcord. I don't really know what else is to show. There's some things that I think could be done better, and there's some things that I'm really excited and happy for. So I think it's time just to wrap this thing up. All right, so there is your Night Force ripcord, part of the Dragonfly Haslab. I really didn't think that I was going to like this weapon with him. Again, the first ones were made really nice, and they kind of got softer. And this one is really nice, and I really like the color scheme. I really like the other gun. I thought it was going to work really well, but I kind of like the way this is. I was expecting him to be more like the Halo jumper, but I'm pleasantly happy to know that his buck is using Wild Bills, which we'll probably see again in the future. Not just Wild Bill, but using that buck for other pilots, maybe like Ace. But all in all, man, pretty nice. Like I said, I don't understand why changing the backpack, but the backpack fits on there really, really well. It is almost like it was designed for this, and then they threw it on that Halo jumper. I think I need to throw it back on the Halo jumper and see how it fits. But this actually, you know, here I spent all this time trying to pull this off, and then I pop it on here, and I'm like, that thing fits perfect. Like, it was designed, and if it wasn't, it's a happy accident. It's designed perfectly with this piece. So don't try and take that off. Don't, stupid. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Before I do, please, if you're on Facebook and you want to join a fun group, Punks with Toys, because once you join, you're a punk with toys. Now you stayed this long. I don't know why you haven't yet, but please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell notification so I'm notified. So you're notified. I don't have to be notified. I know when I drop my videos because I literally do it. So you're notified every time I drop a G.I. Joe video, classified that is, or anything for that matter. But I'm going to get out of it. But please don't go anywhere. What I am going to do is I'm going to leave a link to the Dragonfly. And down here is the playlist of all the G.I. Joe stuff. And now I'm going to go cough.